I think your prediction was by the end of 2018, you think Bitcoin's going to hit 78,000.
I didn't make a 2018 projection. I made a 2020 projection.
I think you said 78,000 to somebody for 2018. I remember seeing 78,000. If I'm wrong,
Well,
I'm wrong.
You may have seen that, and it may have been written, but I promise you I did not say that.
Quite a few people said $40,000, $50,000. You're probably even higher than that in your estimation if it's going to get to $1 million by 2020. They're saying $40,000, $50,000 by the end of 2018 is what many people are expecting now.
No, my figure's at 78,000 by the end of 2018.
Yeah, so are you familiar with Jordan Belfort? The guy, the Wolf of Wall Street?
Yeah, of course.
I interviewed him. I was at his place, and we were sitting down talking about Bitcoin. And I said, tell me what you think about Bitcoin and what's going to happen. He says,
and here's the thing. When this thing really goes, if it's at 30,000, it's not going from 30,000 to 29,000 to 28,000. It's going from 30,000 to 1.
you have a complete different perspective on Bitcoin because of the way you describe it. Tell me your point of view on Bitcoin. Why you think Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million by 2020?
Well, there are a bunch of ways to do it. The most common way is to take the number of users of Bitcoin, because as Bitcoin expands in its user base, both people who hold the coin and people who accept the coin for payment, it's skyrocketing. It's skyrocketing. So it's not going to disappear. It can't possibly go to zero. It can only grow as the user base grows. So it's impossible. Belfort, I don't know how smart he is, he's wrong. He does not understand digital currencies and how they work. Listen, it's Pandora's box. The box has been opened. The spirits are invading the room and they will not go back in. And you have to believe me, digital currencies will replace fiat currencies. Why? Good God, I have a wallet on my phone, which is an entire bank. Lending money, sending wires, I don't have to go to the bank. It takes me 10 seconds to do a wire, 10. I've got to go down to the bank, fill out a bunch of forms. No, that's nonsense, utter nonsense. Do you think that is going to go to zero?
The part that concerns me with Bitcoin, I really want to hear your rebuttal on this. When Jamie Dimon is touching $7 trillion of money per day of transactions, that's not just money, that's a lot of political power with a lot of countries that are connected to that $7 trillion.
Yes.
And so he is one phone call away from so many different prime ministers, presidents, kings, sheiks, whatever you want to call it, because he's touching all these money. I'm not talking small money. We're talking big money here. You know what I'm saying? $7 trillion. $7 trillion is a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
Okay. So
half of our gross domestic product.
if it goes in the direction of these 21 million, Bitcoins being used and 4 million's lost, I think, I don't know the number that was lost. I think it's 4 million of them that was lost, some number like that. Don't you think a guy like that and these guys who control elections and control all these other things, don't you think they're going to make a phone call and they're going to say, hey, listen, Mr. Congressman, Mr. Senator, you want to do this again? You got to make sure you take care of this thing. You cannot let this Bitcoin stuff take off the way it is. This is out of control already. Don't you think they're going to make those calls to figure out a way to do what they've always done, which is, listen, small business owner wants to compete with a big business owner. How do you beat them? Very simple. Big business owner goes to somebody and helps them out financially in the political side and says, listen, make the barrier to enter more difficult. How do you do it? More regulations, more licensing, more laws, more rules, more this stuff. And so the new guy cannot come and compete with this guy. Right. He has, in a sense, a monopoly with two other companies, if you want to call it a monopoly. So that is my only concern with the argument you're making is...
But you're assuming that Congress can make whatever laws they want, obviously. They can outlaw Bitcoin. They can do what they want. You're assuming that there is a possibility of enforcing those laws. That's utter fucking nonsense. You cannot stop a distributed system that is worldwide. There is no law that you can make. If you had one person per citizen in the country, 400 million enforcers, you still couldn't do it. Well, because the enforcer will have to sleep for some point. It's not possible. Okay? Now, admittedly, the way that things were 6 months ago, when exchanges were centralized, you could shut down an exchange. You can't do that anymore. They've now decentralized exchanges. You can't stop it, you can't shut it down, and you can't know anything about it. So tell me, sir, how will you enforce these magical laws that Congress is going to make? Jamie Dimon has no power in this world. But here's the misconception. The misconception is that legislation can have teeth. It's not possible. This is a distributed world. There is no legislation that can touch it. You can't change it. You can't fix it. You can't stop it. You can't control it. You can't direct it. You have no power. I don't make the laws. Make whatever you want. It will make no difference.
You are that certain about it?
Well, I'm a technologist, for God's sake. We're talking technology.
I mean, a lot of technology people have been wrong in the past before, though. But you're that certain about it.
Not wrong
When
about
I
their
wa-
technology.
when
And this
I
is
watch
technology.
you-
I'm telling you something. Just like I can tell you antivirus software does not work because it cannot stop the hackers in the world. I said that earlier. Why? Because it technologically can't. Nothing can. Now, same thing with Bitcoin. You can't stop Bitcoin. This is a fact. Technologically impossible.